Okay, today we're going to be making a ridiculously good chantilly cake. This chantilly cake is made up of super soft vanilla cake layers that are filled with a lightly flavored and sweetened whipped cream frosting, a super easy homemade berry jam, and loads of fresh berries. It is literally one of my favorite cakes of all time. So to start off, you want to preheat your oven to 180°C or 350°F conventional and grease or line 2 8-inch cake tins. Today I'm just using my homemade cake release to grease my tins. It works so good. I have the full recipe on how to make this on cakesbymk.com. Set your cake tins aside for now, and next we're going to sift together our dry ingredients. So I've got 300 grams or 2 1/3 cups of plain all-purpose flour, 25 grams or 1/4 cup of cornstarch, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of salt. And then using a whisk or fork, give that a good mix until it's well combined and set it aside for now. Next, in the large bowl, you want to add in 113 grams or half a cup of room temperature unsalted butter, 105 grams or half a cup of unflavoured vegetable oil, I like to use canola oil, and 332 grams or 1 2/3 cups of white granulated sugar. And then using either a hand or stand mixer on a medium speed, you want to cream that together for 2 minutes until it's light and creamy. Next, you want to add in 3 large room temperature eggs one at a time, mixing well in between each addition. It's super important to make sure that your eggs are at room temperature, otherwise they're not going to mix into the batter properly. Okay, now once that's done, then next you want to add in 1 1/4 tablespoons of vanilla. Now I know this seems like a lot of vanilla, but trust me, it's going to add incredible flavor to your cake batter. 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. This is going to give us a super velvety crumb, and 112 grams or half a cup of room temperature buttermilk. Now this recipe uses a total of 337 grams or 1 1/2 cups of buttermilk, but we're only using half a cup of buttermilk for this step. And then you just want to mix that in until it's well combined. Now you just want to get all of the batter off of your attachments because the rest of the mixing we're going to be doing by hand. So to finish off, you want to add in half of your pre-sifted dry ingredients from earlier into the batter and mix that in with a spatula until it's just combined. Then you want to add in the remaining 225 grams or 1 cup of buttermilk and fold that in until just combined, and then again add in the remaining dry ingredients and fold until just combined. It's super important to make sure that you're not over mixing, so only mix until you can't see any more streaks of flour running through the batter and the batter is uniform. So that is our batter all done, and now you just want to evenly distribute this into our 2 pre-prepared cake tins. Once that's done, I just like to weigh my cake tins just to make sure that I have roughly the same amount in each cake tin. And then you just want to level out the tops and then drop your cake tins lightly on the counter to remove any large air bubbles. And now these are going to go into the oven for 30 to 35 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean or with a few moist crumbs on it. So my cakes are all done now. They have the most wonderful vanilla smell. They've been cooling in the cake tins for about 20 minutes just to allow them to firm up a little. And now I'm just running a thin knife around the edges to release the cakes from the cake tins and turning them out onto a wire rack to completely cool. If you've tried my vanilla cake before, then you will know just how incredibly soft and fluffy these cake layers are. Now while these cakes are cooling, we're going to go ahead and make our super easy berry jam filling. You can also make this berry jam ahead of time if you prefer. So to a saucepan, add in 140 grams or 1 cup of mixed fresh or frozen berries of your choice. Today I'm using a combination of raspberries, blueberries and strawberries. 3/4 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and 38 grams or 3 tablespoons of white granulated sugar. Now you just want to give that a good stir so everything is well combined, and then you want to place it over a low to medium heat and let it slowly come to a simmer, stirring every now and then just to make sure that nothing is sticking to the bottom. Now as the mixture is heating up, the berries should start to disintegrate and the mixture should become relatively liquidy. If you are using any firm berries like strawberries, then at this point you just want to use a potato masher to mash everything up. And then once it's at that liquidy stage, you just want to continue to cook it for a few more minutes to allow everything to thicken up. Now once it's at this kind of consistency, you just want to take it immediately off the heat and pour it into a heat-proof bowl to cool. So that is basically our berry jam all done. I like to now pop mine into the fridge just to help speed up the cooling process so that once my cake layers are cool, my berry jam will be cool and ready to go as well. Now once the berry jam and cake layers have cooled, you want to go ahead and make your whipped cream frosting. So the whipped cream frosting we're going to be making today is stabilized using both mascarpone cheese and cream cheese. They both add such incredible flavor to the whipped cream and they add great stability as well. So to a large bowl, add in 113 grams or half a cup of cold mascarpone, 113 grams or half a cup of cold cream cheese. You want to use a firm cream cheese, 125 grams or 1 cup of powdered sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then using a hand or stand mixer, mix that together until it's nice and smooth. If you're using a stand mixer, then you want to do this with a whisk attachment. Next, you want to add in 460 grams or 2 cups of cold heavy whipping cream. And first mix that in on a low speed just to allow everything to combine without the cream splattering everywhere. And then turn up the speed to a medium high and whip until you reach stiff peaks. Be careful not to over whip the cream though, as it does come together quite quickly. And then that is basically our whipped cream or chantilly frosting all done. So all our different elements are ready now, so let's start putting this cake together. So I'm going to start off by leveling my cake layers. They are already quite flat, so I'm just trimming off a very small amount off the top. Next, I'm going to spread out a generous amount of the whipped cream frosting on the cake and smooth it out with my offset spatula. I'm then going to use a 1M piping tip to pipe a dam of frosting around the edges of the cake layer and then fill in the center with half of my berry jam. That dam of frosting is just going to make sure that our berry jam doesn't seep out the edges of the cake. Once that's done, I'm going to place some fresh berries on top of the jam. So today I've got a selection of strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. And in total, you'll need about 1.5 to 2 cups for the middle and top of the cake when you decorate it at the end. You can totally use more or even less if you like. These fresh berries are just going to add wonderful texture to the cake. Next, I'm placing my second cake layer on top and then just pushing it down slightly. And then I'm spreading out a generous amount of the whipped cream frosting on the top and sides of the cake. And then I'm also using my cake scraper to smooth out the edges. Now to get a nice smooth edge on the top of my cake, I'm using my offset spatula to bring that top lip of frosting into the middle of the cake. So to finish off, I'm just using the same piping bag and 1M piping tip that I used to pipe the border in the middle of the cake to pipe a border around the top edge of my cake. I'm then going to fill the middle with the remaining berry jam and top it off with more fresh berries. And then that is it. My gorgeous berry chantilly cake is all done. This cake is honestly so fresh and light and just bursting with flavor. The cake layers are so incredibly soft, and the combination of the whipped cream with the tart berry jam and fresh berries is literally a match made in heaven. It is so good. That is just so good. The combination of flavors in this cake is on another level. It is absolutely epic. It's just like so light and refreshing and juicy, and the best part is it's not too sweet. So that whipped cream frosting is just sweetened to that perfect amount. If you're someone who loves berries and, cakes that aren't too sweet, then you are going to absolutely love this cake. You have to give it a go. So that is it for today, guys. If you do decide to give this chantilly cake a go and you love it just as much as I do, then please do leave a review on my blog. It really helps my content out and I absolutely love hearing from you guys. I'll see you in the next video.